Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Beyond the Plate RVA. I'm your host, Rebecca Pierce. I'm super excited to be back for season 6. And we have a fantastic guest for this season's opening. But first, of course, I got to do some housekeeping. This show is brought to you by RLP Productions, of course, the founder of Beyond the Plate RVA, as well as Maggie's Custom Sweet Treats, my bakery. We specialize in making homemade desserts, just like Grandma used to make. And we are here again to lend our support, our love, and our ears to Black and Brown women in the food, beverage, and spirits industry. And if you haven't heard me say it before, I was inspired by an attendance at the first annual Black Women in Food Summit in Washington, D.C. 2 years ago to do this, to pivot our podcast, to give a voice and a space to Black and Brown women who are making moves in these particular industries. And so, with that being said, if you know of a Black or Brown woman in food whose story we need to hear, whose food story we need to support, please send that information to info@rlpproductions.com. You can hit us up on our Instagram page, Beyond the Plate RVA, the TV show, Beyond the Plate RVA TV show. Or again, you can just find me, Rebecca, on social media. And I'll be happy to get the information over. So with that, let me introduce our fantastic guest that I've met at the local Richmond's local Black farmers market. She was also referred to me by another Black farmer, and I'm so glad that he put your name in a hat because this woman's product is phenomenal. Ladies, I'm gonna let her tell you about it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. And I'm probably gonna kill the last name, so correct me on it. Francis Odoi. Is that Odoi?
It's
CoCoGin. CoCoGin. So,
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. This is great. So yeah. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about you, about who you are and what you do. Of course, I mentioned some juices, but ma'am, please, details.
Okay. So again, yes, my name is Frances Odoi. I am the founder and owner of CoCoGin LLC. We are a wellness focused brand where we're just trying to make wellness more convenient, accessible, and tasty, for individuals. So that way they can achieve wellness in their lives and ideally on a daily basis. And we do that specializing in cold pressed juices. And with our juices, they do consist of coconut water and ginger. So it's addressing the hydration that we need,
Right.
just function on a regular basis. And then also the ginger that helps with just like the healing aspect of just inflammation in our gut and things of that nature. So I specialize in those two things because that's what we kind of just need from a foundational standpoint.
What
Um,
moved you in that direction? What inspired you to get into this particular part of the industry?
so honestly, I never saw myself doing anything food related at all. But in 2020, when we were going through the pandemic,
Yeah.
um, well, for one, I really love ginger, and I really just wanted to just take ginger and just juice it down and freeze it into ice cubes and add it to my tea or things of that nature. However, it turned into juice because I had carrots and oranges there. And I said, let me just throw that in a juicer. I've never juiced before. I had a juicer, the box was collecting dust. I was like, let me go ahead and just do something with it.
Right.
I said, let me just test it out. So, I did the ginger. I was like, okay. But I saw the carrots and the oranges. I said, let me throw that in there as well too. And I went to drink it. I was like, wait a minute, this is good.
Right.
But in the foundational aspect of why I was doing that too was because during that time, okay, it's the pandemic,
Mhm.
COVID-19 is going around, everybody's immune system is being affected. And I'm like, okay, well, what can I do on a daily basis to ensure that my immune system is being strengthened during this
Right.
time? And also, to the importance of that was because my father at that time had a stroke. And, for me, being his primary caregiver, I'm just like, okay, how can I make sure that my immune system stays strong and that way I don't catch COVID so that way I can be there for him?
Right.
And I started juicing for myself and, I found a love for it. And I was doing it on a daily basis. I went to Amazon, bought the glass bottles, and I had all the
Right.
bright different colors of the juice. And I had family and friends let me try some, let me get some. And I'm like, no. And I had my best friend actually, she came to my house and she was just like, let me buy this bottle off of you. And I said, no, ma'am. And she took the bottle. She cashed at me $10. And I said, wait a minute. I
Uh-oh.
think this can be a thing.
Right.
So, and then more people just started asking, and now we're here.
Well, I mean, I love your motto, taste and see that wellness is good.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that or tap into that? Because it's prophetic in a lot of ways. I mean, you said you started it, you really wanted to help your father, but this idea that wellness can be good, it goes against the years of indoctrination of thinking that to eat well means that it's going to taste nasty, right?
Right.
And so, how did you really kind of like change the narrative? How are you changing the narrative that wellness can taste good?
Yeah. Um, so taste and see that wellness is good comes from a scripture in Psalms
Mhm.
34:8. Taste and see that God is good.
Yeah.
And when I came and I'm a woman of faith, and when I
Yeah.
came across that scripture, I was just like, okay, it also aligned with my idea of like, with juices, like that's the healthiest thing because you're using
Right.
straight fruits and vegetables. There's nothing but nutrients in there. And a lot of people always ask me, like, like how did I create it? Was it like based like was this juice based on this and that? And I'm like, at the end of the day, I just kind of foundationally said, I already know that fruits and vegetables are like the healthiest thing on the
Right.
planet.
Right.
So like why not take those things? And I was just creative enough, and I always say, like, God just blessed me with something in my hands where it's just like I can pick the different, ingredients, put it together and make it taste good. And when I realized how good it was, I'm like, and other people started to see how good that, just something as simple as a juice, was,
Right.
and understanding like what it can actually do to your body. I was like, okay, like, come on, like, I wanna make sure that people can see that just taking part in a juice can, like, change your life?
Well, and we need that, right? And when we talk about drinking fluids, I mean, pushing water, of course. A lot of
Mhm.
times people don't understand that you can also get that fluid from a fruit, from a vegetable. And so, did you find that you had to do a lot of research as to how to make sure that the ratio of each of the ingredients creates a tasty drink? Because, ma'am, I tasted all that ginger. I was like, "Ooh, she ain't playing this ginger right here."
Now was that the juices or the shots? Because the
Both.
shots, yeah.
I did both. I was like, yeah, he's gonna wake
So
you up.
yes, now for the shots, absolutely, they are definitely gonna wake you up, and that's the intention. Like, I always, suggest that with especially with the Rootful, the beet-based shot,
Yes.
let that be, like, the first thing that you take in the morning, because
Mm.
that amount of ginger in it, it'll wake you up.
Man, okay, that's stairs.
You know, I mean, and it's funny, I have people say, "I want something that's gonna put a little bit of hair on my chest," and I'm like,
Really?
"Yeah, okay." Um, but I'm glad that you enjoyed it, first and
Yeah.
foremost. I'm glad that you truly enjoyed them. Um In terms of, like, with your question about, like, the ratio of, like,
Mhm.
how did I know? Like I said, like, it was more of, like, I knew that, like, apples and pineapples gave a
Mhm.
sweetness. I knew that some, vegetables like beets and carrots, very beneficial, and I'll say more on the beet side, very distinct, strong taste,
Mhm. Yes.
but I just kind of put two and two together that okay, with apples, that sweetness is gonna help, create that blend of the beet. So that way it's not too earthy as people, would consider it to be. Um, so like, and actually that came with time. Initially,
Right.
when I first started, I'll be honest with you, it was just about creating a rich color. It
Right.
was really just about creating a rich color.
Right. Because your colors are beautiful. I mean, that's what people are. We're visual. Human beings. We're visual.
Exactly.
And even like when we're making desserts, that your cupcake and your cookie, it needs to look right
Mhm.
because people buy with their eyes, with the vision.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So I
Yeah.
get that color. So
Yeah.
you said that it was like your best friend that cashed out you that $10. So that was the moment when you realized that, oh my gosh, I could probably do something with this. That was that particular moment.
That was like the first inkling moment. What followed that was like then I started like posting online, and my brother was just like, all you gotta do is put a label on it and sell it. And I'm like, I'm not doing that either. All right. I was like, I am not a salesperson. I don't have the time nor capacity to do that.
Mhm.
Um, but, it still rung in my head, and it was one of those things where I never saw myself creating a business, but it was just, like,
Right.
the flow of it all, like, it was first my friend buying the bottle, and then it was my brother saying, "Create a label." I played around with creating a label, and I was like, "Okay," and actually, like, even with the name, I was just like, "I don't even know what to call it," and I was like, "Well, there's coconut water and ginger and all the
Yes.
things," and I put in this. I'm like, "Okay, well, maybe," and we were sitting there, I was like, "What, Coco Gin?" And that's she's like, "I mean, it
Perfect.
sounds good." We
Yeah.
stuck with it,
I love it.
and
I
it
love
and it
it.
just and it just kinda it just kinda grew from there, like, I people would say, "Oh, well, can I do a juice cleanse?" I've done juice cleanses, but I never, like, really, like, specialized in, like, pushing it as a juice cleanse. It was more of just, like, a daily thing because we have to drink water every day, right?
Right.
So, it was more of, like, I did that. I created, like, cleanse for them, and, then, honestly, it just led to, like, I started going to, like, farmers markets, and, I was just, like, walking around and, like, I was, just kinda walking, I was like, "Well, you know what? I think I could do this," and I did my first farmers market, and that was with the RVA Black Farmers Market where I met you, and it just kinda blew up from there.
I mean, I love that it's an organic growthy, and it's so interesting how many women of color find themselves, um, moving into entrepreneurship organically in that way. We're,
Yeah.
create a product because we're, trying to help our family feel well, or in my case, it's something, my mama taught me how to bake from scratch, and I, did it for my kids, and then, started asking, "Can you do it for me?"
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, like, what then is, like, your favorite thing about being a Black woman in the food beverage, industry? Like, you're in it now. What's your favorite thing about being here?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, being Black, that's just unique as I don't know what. Like us as Black individuals
Right.
is such a unique thing. Like we are creators, and just as women, we're creators. So for me, it's like being able to be a Black woman creating something that's not necessarily just it's fun, but it's beneficial to the
Exactly.
community.
Yeah.
And I really sit back and think of like, okay, like, why does God have us here? Like and my whole thing is like he wants us to provide for his kingdom. And if this is like the littlest or minute way of me being able to just help his people is
Right.
create something that he's given us to help benefit their health. I mean, to know that I as a woman, as a creator, now I'm young woman, I don't have any children, so I'm not a creator in that sense, but to be able to create something that's able to still help
Don't rush
people.
it.
you know
Don't rush. Take your time coming over here.
That's it.
No, go ahead and create over there. You good. You good.
I hear that. Listen, I hear, and honestly, like this keeps me busy. Okay,
Yes.
so like I'm grateful for it because like I sit back some days and I'm just like, if it's not destined for me, which if it is, it is. I'm here for it. But if it's not, like I know that I have created something that was actually still beneficial to this world. Whether it reaches the masses from a global standpoint or if it just
Mhm.
reaches my community right here, and if I'm able to make an impact doing that, then I'm
Love that.
happy.
So then what is your vision or your plan for the brand in the next couple years? Where would you like to see it go?
Well, we're all about expansion, like, well, and it's funny because initially when I started, I just wanted to help me. I was like, I used to always, like, when I told this story, I was selfish. I just wanted to make juices for myself, not necessarily for anyone else.
Right.
But now at this point, because I know what it has done for me, and I know the need for other people who just like have like minute issues,
Mm.
that maybe like a shot can assist with. Like, I wanna be able to help others, and I want o others to be able to see that, hey, something as simple as a shot can, like, eliminate this pain that I'm going through. So, honestly, for me, expansion, obviously, I wanna continue to grow. Um, what I foresee in the more current future is, like, being able to, like, go from, being at events from a tent and table, I wanna be able to expand and go mobile. So, we are looking to, get a mobile food truck, in the future. So I say that with all the blessings to come and putting it into the universe for it to happen. Um, but I definitely want to start there because I want to be able to, I do Richmond, I've done Petersburg, I'm in the Charlottesville area, however, I just want to be able to do more. Even if I'm going to be here in Richmond, I want to be able to do more. So like I want to be able to hit the events, that need more healthier options.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to be able to hit the more corporate, spaces where, because I worked in corporate before as well. And
Mm.
just like if I knew that there were healthier options, like that were really truly healthy, it would have made me feel better being in that space,
Right.
So ideally, I would love to go mobile so I can like and just grow in that because yes, it's juices right now, but I want to offer things like smoothies and just I want to be able to expand in my offerings as well too.
That would be
So that's why I kind of want to expand into that space. Um, but more, I mean, ideally, I would love to have a storefront, but one thing at a time, one thing at a time.
absolutely. So,
Yeah.
what do you need from the community to help you move forward in this vision? What do you need?
Honestly, like, just the continued support that I've had from day one,
Right.
honestly. The continued support, but however, like, the support in me, but I want them to have that support in themselves, I want them to be able to see that, look, I can do better because the one pet peeve that I have when, like, I'm at events and I'm talking to people passing by, they're always just like, "Well, I'm not healthy. I don't eat healthy," But and that mindset, it just, it grinds my gears, because you can, you don't have to be you don't have to eat salads all day, every day. Like you can consume a juice first thing in the morning just to set your day off right. And to me, I feel like juices can be a gateway.
Right.
It can truly be a gateway into just doing better.
I
Because like once you see what a juice can do, then it's just like, well, if I'm doing this and it's being beneficial to my body, like like if I do more, how better, like how more can I see, the wealth of my health, just growing.
I love that.
And that's how it was for me. So I want people to support me as much as they are.
Yes.
However, supporting themselves in the same because like if we do that, we can all just be one great nation.
So, of course, we're gonna put your socials all on the posting for the show and whatnot. But my final question to you, I've got to ask, is I got to get it in. Is like you said, you're very busy.
Yeah.
So, what is your daily wellness practice? How do you keep yourself grounded spiritually, emotionally, physically? How do you take care of yourself as you're growing this business?
Um, well, as we all know, entrepreneurship is a faith walk. Okay. It is a true faith walk. One day you can be like, I don't know how I'm going to get to the next day. And then the next day is just like, God, I thank you, So my daily practice is just seeking Him, seeking God in everything that I do.
Yes.
With Psalms 34:8, it's taste and see that the Lord is good. However, it's also, blessed is the one who takes refuge in Him. So daily seeking Him, daily trusting in Him and really understanding and believing that, even when it doesn't feel good.
Right.
So the remembrance is a lot, but you still have to just believe it. And like sometimes you just gotta work through it, and just at least just take the next step because he's gonna help you, he's gonna guide you, he's gonna be there for you. So for me, what I do to help ground me is just seek him on a daily. Yeah.
I love that. And that's a question I ask every woman that comes on the show because we can't lose ourselves in trying to be of service to the community. You've got to practice what you preach. And if you're preaching wellness, how are you maintaining your wellness?
Right.
Right? I love that. So give us your quick social because wait, I did have one question.
Yes.
Can your product be shipped nationwide?
Oh, absolutely. We already was shipping nationwide. Yeah.
Okay, great. Because I'm like, I got some folks that I'm
Listen, come
through.
through. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes.
And also your product, do you work really hard to keep out those we know that when you go into stores, products have to often add sugars and preservatives into their ingredient structure. Is this
Mhm.
something that you're working hard to avoid?
Oh, heavily. Heavily, heavily. Because I know that was one thing, like with pursuing like VDAX and things of that nature, like the
Mhm.
pasteurization and like even going into stores and things that like going more retail. Yes, they are requiring you to, pasteurize your juices and things of that nature. So for me, yeah, no, I definitely don't want to pasteurize. I don't believe in adding sugar, because that just defeats the purpose to me. So for me, just doing that means if I have to just like maintain my own storefront and just shit, I'm very
Get the food truck. The food
yeah,
truck.
and we are okay.
I
It's
love
already
that.
here,
Okay.
prayerfully, but it's here. But yes, if I'm having to just reach my community, here, and just grow from there, then yes. But if Target were to call me and say, hey, we would love to have you, but I have to pasteurize, I don't know. That's something I may have to
That's
think
something
first.
she also at the bakery of like, no, I mean, we want to grow, but not compromising the product to do that.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. So my final question: when you're not working the farmers market, like the farmers markets are coming to a close because of the season,
Mhm.
is there any other place other than your website, which, by the way, give us your website, that
Mhm.
people can find you during the winter season to keep healthy with these juices?
Absolutely. So yes, the website is
Oh,
www.cocoginjuices.com.
oh, gin.
Yeah, CoCoGin juices with the S, yes, because unfortunately we had a whole domain issue. So we had to switch it up.
Mm.
So CoCoGin juices with an S .com is how you can find us on our website. Like I said, we do ship nationwide. Also, too, you can currently find our juices at Lyra's Natural Kitchen. That's over in Stony Point Fashion Park. That is a very vegan forward restaurant, gluten free, vegan. I'm sorry, gluten free, vegan forward restaurant.
And what's the restaurant? What's the name of it?
Lyra's Natural Kitchen.
Lyra's Natural Kitchen. Okay.
Lyra's Natural Kitchen.
Mhm.
You can find our juices there. We also do pickups from there as well. You can also find us down in Petersburg at the market at PPL. So at the public library down in Petersburg, they have a market, and we offer our juices there. So you can find our juices there as well too. Even though here, like in the Richmond area, well, at least with the RVA Black Farmers Market, this is that's ending. However, we are also too at the Charlottesville Market Farmers Market,
Okay.
and that is year round. And that'll be starting back up mid January. So there's still a way for you to seek us there. Um, so yeah, and by all means, just if you want to order and it's just like you're having difficulties with pickup, reach out to us at our email, and we can figure out a way to get the juices to you.
All right. Give us the email.
So that is cocogin.juice
Dot juice
at gmail.com.
at gmail.com. And your Instagram. Again, I'm gonna put it up, but we still want to hear you say Instagram
Absolutely.
socials.
Yeah,
How can we find you?
so you can find us on Instagram at CoCoGin_juice. Yes.
Underscore juice.
Mhm.
I love it. Francis, this has been fantastic. I love your product. I love your product and the fact that I had to fight the children to get to your
Okay, so I'm glad that you said something because I tell people all the time, like, I'm not pushing a sale. I'm really not pushing a sale. However, make sure you get what you need for you and get whatever for the others because I don't condone the violence because I know the things. I know they fight over the juice.
sorry, they had to fight the children to the shot. I had to look, I had to hide the shots. That's to hide them.
Listen, I had my goddaughter, I mean, crying because we took the bottle from her, and I mean, she was livid. So, like, I'm blessed to know that I can create such a beautiful product.
It's
That the people do fight over. However, it's more than just the fight; it's more of the fight within, and really, not just make ourselves better. So, I bless to be, yeah, yeah.
I love it. I love your spirit. I love your energy. Thank you so much for being our first guest on season 6. We're gonna have to bring you back because I know there's much you can teach people who may have an idea for beverages about labeling, branding, and manufacturing and things like that. And that is the being a woman in food is learning all those components. But I also want to encourage you to consider connecting with Black Women in Food Summit because I think they would really dig your product. So I'm gonna plug that. It's because he's so with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today on Beyond the Plate RVA. I'm your host, Rebecca Pierce. I look forward to bringing you another great guest for season 6. Again, make sure you follow us on Instagram under Beyond the Plate RVA TV show. And then on Facebook, we're under the company RLP Productions. And of course, if you again have a Black or brown woman in food that you think would be a great guest on the show, we need to hear her food story. Please send that information to info@rlpproductions.com. Again, that's rlpproductions.com. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye.